Living Proof Radio is often praised for its ability to connect with listeners on an emotional level and inspire them to pursue their passions. Stories of ordinary people overcoming challenges and achieving extraordinary feats. These stories tap into universal human experiences of aspiration and struggle and can help listeners feel motivated and empowered. For weekly episodes and full length, visit patreon.com/livingproofnewyork.
One of the things I wanted to start this off with is you're one of the people who, like, as a skateboarder who's younger, you're actually advocating for fucking taking care of your body, at all, which I feel like is so far removed from even just like 1.5 generations ago. You would have never heard that shit. But even today, like, the dudes who are talking about taking care of your body and being like a legitimate professional are like, more so like Reynolds type of people. But you don't see like the younger generation talking about that shit and listening to your interviews and stuff. You fucked your body up a ton of times skateboarding and stuff.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
yeah, how did that come about and your mentality on the shit?
So yeah, my health became like a major part of me when, I really made it a goal of mine to become a sponsored skateboarder and get on Adidas, and that's like, that's what I dreamed about my whole life, and I made it happen. I thought it wasn't gonna happen, and that I do want to let people know that, like, even someone of my caliber, where I've gotten in my life, I've felt insecurities of being able to make it to where I'm at. So I want to like let people know that no matter that feeling, it's very normal, but you have to push through that and kind of ensure yourself that you're better than what you're feeling at the moment. But so, first trip to LA, my first trip with Adidas to LA, I had a great trip, skate my hardest, work my heart out, try and do my best every day. And last day, wore like half a size too big of slip-on Adidas because they sent a shit ton of sneakers to the Airbnb, and I was having a ball going through everything. And excuse me,
were they the match cords?
They were the match cord slips, yes. They were too big too, and I like didn't break them in and like used board to skate, and I tried to skate this gap and ollied it, stuck it, and it was kind of big, probably like a 12 stair, and then kicked out on a kickflip the next try. I didn't even ollie it. I was like, all right, I don't know why I skipping steps. Should have just landed the ollie and then got around to the kickflip. Kicked out, just got the worst kickflip, and I hyperextended my leg. And before I noticed I was gonna hit the ground, I kept my leg straight instead of bending it, and I had torn my ACL at the age of probably 19, and I had just got on Adidas, and it was a horrible feeling just being like, oh wow, I just got on Adidas, and now I just had like a pretty big injury that could, give or take how serious you plan surgery, get an MRI, and get back into the swing of things and start physical therapy. It could, give or take, you could not, potentially get back to where I was, or have the confidence to reach the potential that I was looking forward to getting to at only the age of 18 or 19 and just getting on Adidas. So it was a huge road bump. And I think right then and there, I realized that after surgery, I just want to, continue physical therapy workouts and do my best to eat and drink as much water and actually stay focused and be like, cause it's not easy to get yourself to go to physical therapy 2-3 days a week after a surgery of that sort. It's pretty painful the first couple of weeks. And you kind of I remember probably the first couple of days out of surgery, my leg was so swollen, and I was just looking at my skateboard in my room and kind of just stood on it. And I was like, wow, I can't, kickflip just seems unfathomable and very hard and scary. And I think right then and there, I was like, okay, it's, I have one life, and I have the support behind me. Is how much do I want to continue this journey of being a professional athlete? And then, as time went by, as soon as I hit 8 months and I started feeling normal again, I started pushing around. And then probably a month after I finally was able to skate, I went on another Adidas trip to Australia, my first time out the country, and it went really well. And I'm happy that type of road bump of that sort of injury happened at that age, because when I was 19 and went on a trip, it kind of was like, I knew that it probably is a smoother situation than someone at the age of like 20, 28, 30 going through that situation. So I think once I went through that and I realized how much I do love skating and getting better, and realizing that I did receive a second chance, that right then and there, I want to continue working out and continue just like focusing on the things I want to get done. And I understand that the skate tricks that I do choose to do, like throughout the world, or New York specifically, I love skating in New York, that I have to like be bored and do nothing all day until like those moments come where I'm allowed to skate. And I think that's like kind of, and it's the same thing as like going to the gym. It's so boring. You have to just kind of be like, okay, like wake up in the morning, take care of the dog, and then have some coffee and have some food. And then you got to like choose to be like, okay, I'm going to get my ass in the car and drive to the gym, although it's super boring, and sit in traffic, and then get on the bike and then stretch. And it's like, I don't want to do those things. I really don't. I don't want to go to the gym 1 times a week. I don't. I just know that like with what I've been through, I understand that that's like, it's just the equation to success is just like, it's something that it's an ingredient that goes into making something. And it's like, you lack that ingredient, and then it's going to lack taste. And it's like, you don't have the stamina to skate for a long period of time and try a trick for a longer period of time, then you're not gonna, be as successful as you like to be. And that was something that like, that's like what the gym helps. And being through that injury is like learning that like certain things, like leg press at a certain weight, is like, it's always there's gonna be a difficult to it, but like there's a reward at the end of the day for it. So, I mean, it was a lot of adversity that has been brought to me, but I wouldn't want it any other way. I have like, for the biggest L's in my life, I think as time went past and staying on the right path to understanding that certain tasks that I do throughout the day are going to have a huge, benefit towards the life I'm trying to create. And it's now, like, as I get older, and that's why I'm more than grateful to like get on the mic with you guys and talk about this stuff, is because like life moves fast. And I feel like it was yesterday that I was 15 years old, and team manager was hitting me up to be like, you should go to San Francisco and skate your heart out and get as many photos as you can for Thrasher and as much footage as you can. And now I'm like here, like just put out probably one of my better works, Adidas parts, and I'm super proud of it. And it's like even better feeling knowing that was released 4 or 5 months ago, and that took 3 years. And now I have another 2 years of work for Dickies that I'm extremely proud of. And it's like, I understand that life goes fast, and it's like, I strive to do extra things that I'm like, I don't really want to do, such as, staying healthy, not partying too much, being around the right group of people. Cause I want, when I get older, I want to look back and be extremely proud of the videos that I've made and the moments that I've had with my friends. It's like super special to me. Like as I get older, I don't want to ever take for granted the place I get to live with my like coolest friends and film the coolest stuff. Cause it's like, it's a blessing. And I guess injuries that I've been through also like let me understand that like you could not be able to do the things that we do get to do. And that's why I'm like, it's really not that hard to do those little things that you don't want to do, because when you've had issues come up that you don't want to deal with, such as injuries, like, you realize that being healthy and doing what you love to do with your friends in cool places is really special. So try and take advantage of it and try your best every day. And that's like kind of my goal. Every day I want to just like film to the best of my abilities and just enjoy the time with my friends. And I love New York City and I love how it looks on film. So, I mean, the better I get at skateboarding, the stronger I get, the more I have discipline, then the better outcome I'm going to have. So that's why I'm so into like being on top of it to the best I could. I mean, there's some days, I don't try as hard, but that's all right. I mean, everyone's human. You got to just take it easy sometimes.
We love that. Honestly, a lot of people, I feel like a lot of people feel the same way you do. Like, no one ever really wants to, like, I mean, of course, there's people that do, but, like, a lot of people don't want to work out. Like, I don't want to work out. But, you know, like, in order to be, like, the best that you can or the best that you want to be, at least, like, you got to, like, do something.
So
You never,
this is
like,
how I think about it, and I think it's like the best perspective is like, dude, if you just like kind of sit still and just sit in a chair or lay down for like way too many hours and you don't do any activity, bro, things are going to get so hard.
Mm-hmm.
Every single day and week that you stay in bed and stay still and be stagnant, the harder it is to come back from that. So I think it's like really important for people to understand that if you can do something to like lift your mood or spirit or your health in any way, any little thing, it's like it adds up. Every little thing matters. Like as much as you don't want to believe it, it's like there's always that just moment where like you do that, you know, it's just like it's just there's that perfect amount of like if you do something this many times or you do this many amount of workouts, then like you're really gonna get the full benefit. It's like if you don't try and like at least push the limit a little bit, then you're kind of just really you're living below your means of being able to accomplish things. So you have to like kind of really figure out how far you could take things and keep in mind that just, you know, it matters how much you try and do throughout your day, and every day how much you do it matters. Like if you kind of just want things to happen that take a certain amount of effort and time and energy, then it's not going to happen. And at some point you have to realize you have to try and go and get what you're trying to do, get to whatever you're trying to do. And it's not really going to happen unless you practice and have patience and, you know, you just have a little bit more thought into your day and what you're going to do and plan it out. I think that's what's helped me with skating is I'm really into planning.
Yeah. Which is not common in skating.
It's not common.
Like
it's also
like,
not cool.
Yeah,
I get it frowned upon because of my confidence in being like, I want to do this trick at that skate spot. And I don't try and come off cocky or arrogant of like, it's just like, I just have high optimism on certain things.
Well, if you look at like skating as a thing, and it's like you look at the professional videos of skateboarding, and then you look at the professional videos of like pretty much any other physical activity, like boxing or baseball or fucking hockey or like whatever, those all the other ones besides skating is like they're trying to be athletes, they're trying to be like professional athletes. But then the skateboarding videos, like the most famous ones, they're trying to be like you're trying to be like a rock star type of like. So then that's the shit that gets pushed, which I get, you know what I mean, and it has its style and it's like culture to it and it's aesthetic and all that shit. But like, it's actually fucking crazy that the previous generation, like particularly like some of the Baker dudes who are legends, can fucking still skate how they can skate. Cause like when they were coming up, they just fucking were on some like burning the candle at both ends.
For sure.
And skating crazy stair sets. Like that was their thing. Like they're skating stair sets, like 17 stairs and shit. And it's fine somehow, which makes you wonder, dude. So then what the fuck could you do if you were taking, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
for
how long
sure.
could your shit last if you were taking care of
that's
it?
why, that's like P-Rod. I mean, P-Rod, you look at P-Rod, he's taking it far into his later 30s from when he was only 13. He was doing the same thing. So, I mean, he's a good example of what you can be if you take into consideration what you're doing and how you're going to do it and how much effort you're going to put into it, because that man has put his heart and soul into skateboarding because he loves it and he knows that he has a gift, and you know he's not taking it for granted, and that's why he's created the most inspirational skate videos known to man. I mean, I literally have nothing but respect for P-Rod. He's probably one of the only few pro skaters, now me being a pro skater, that I'm still like, oh my goodness, like as P-Rod. I mean, there's not many people that make me feel that way. I mean, there is, you know, got GT and Jamie Foy, who's like my best friend, but I still like, I'm like, oh my God, it's Jamie Foy.
Yeah, everyone has that P-Rod lore. Like, I
Yeah,
feel like
everyone
no
loves
one,
yeah.
No one really hates P-Rod.
Yeah, no, he doesn't really leave a bad taste in the mouth for anyone, I don't think. And if they do, it's probably some personal reason. Yeah. More than likely that's why.
Heard about P-Rod.
He's not just in the street. He's sick though. I love that man. So yeah, it's cool what being focused on what you do could get you bring you to like a whole other level of life by just, you know, putting effort into it. So yeah, I've definitely had some injuries that just led me to just be like, like I understand that if I put a little bit more thought and a little bit more practice behind the things I'm trying to get towards, then I'm usually more than likely successful. So if that means me, you know, having nice well rest and a nice week at the gym of just taking it easy and making sure I have energy, then that's like a huge thing for me every day that I go out and get it. And, you know, I want to have energy. Like that's like the whole point of like, you know, that discipline is like, you go out, if you have hours to skate all day, then you're probably more than likely going to go home with something. And that's like sick. I think that, you know, I just want to have a huge portfolio of skateboarding as much as I can have and just continue to do it. So just trying to stay healthy. It's a cool thing. It's actually insane how special it is and how much life it brings to me and other people, and just how much love there is for it. It's pretty sick.
Very important.
Yeah.
To segue into another topic, you're from Lynbrook, right?
Yeah, I'm still out there right now.
So is that Long Island?
Yeah, Lynbrook is in Long Island. It's just 1 or 2 towns away from Queens. It's actually only on like a quicker train stop on the LIRR. It's like 1 stop from Jamaica at Jamaica, Queens. So yeah, it's cool growing up there. I'm still out there right now. I mean, just with my mom in a nice house with her, and I just help do chores around the house and mow the lawn and do what I'm supposed to do so I can get out and skate. And I have lived in Brooklyn temporarily here and there. It's just a little stressful with having 2 cars, and just like it's just easier. And my mom, it's nice to see my mom, you know, and don't mind. I'm still young. I'm not even close to 30 yet. So, I mean, I have funds to hopefully buy some property at some point soon. But I mean, as long as I feel like I keep doing what I'm supposed to do and just keep skating and take care of her, whatever she needs around the house, then it's cool for now. And, you know, it's nice being out there. It's really close to Rockaway Beach, and that's one of my favorite places to skateboard, Beach Channel. It's just perfect dimensions. I mean, the bricks are pretty ruthless on some days, and the wind's pretty gnarly, but I mean, I've had so many good days there. So, I mean, it's a special place in my heart. I definitely enjoy growing up there, and I think that it's a perfect spot for me to like be when I don't want to skate, and then also a good spot for me when I do want to go skate, because if I leave at the right time between around 10 to noon, then I get to Manhattan in about 35 to 45 minutes and super mellow. So it's a perfect place to live. I mean, I'm super grateful that I was born there. I mean, out of all the places in the universe, I mean, I definitely take it into like just being a skateboarder and realizing how much fun it is and how much you could do with it, and like how it really puts you into perspective how special it is where you live because of the architecture and the skate spots. And then the people that are there, it's like they're very special people. They're very artistic, and there's a lot of people who are good at a lot of things out here. So it's like very inspiring. So it's sick. I'm grateful to have grow up there.
Yeah. When did you start coming to the city?
Funny fact. Yeah, I started coming to this city when I was 13. My parents were going through a divorce then, and I was like staying with my dad a lot, and I had this friend Greg who was my brother's best friend, and he was a little bit older than me, and he skated and filmed skateboarding, and I would look up to his videos and the stuff that he produced, and I became his friend at a young age because, you know, I love skating, and I just followed it, and whoever was around there progressing skating, I was there, I'm watching it, I want to be there. And he wanted to go to the city one day with this kid, Anthony Bertel from Long Island, and he was a really good skateboarder and cool dude, and he was like, oh, we're driving to the city today. But I was allowed to go to like further out Long Island, like about like halfway to the Hamptons, so like a 45-minute drive.
So your parents didn't know you were going to.
So I told them I was going to Long Island, which is just 45 minutes the other way, but you know, it's New York, so it's like a kid being young going there is like kind of like a little scary because there's a lot going on. And the first spot I ever went to was the Banks at 13, and I kickflipped it, and I have documentation on it, and I'm stoked. I have like 3 tricks at the Banks right now for my new Dickies part, and I'm working on hopefully potentially getting my last trick on it. I've been getting super close to. I mean, now as I get older, I try not to put too much pressure on making sure certain tricks happen, because I understand that I'm at the level that the stuff that I choose to do is going to be really hard, and I have to understand that they're not going to come easy every time I try it. So that's one thing I'm learning to get better at, because, you know, you can't be too hard on yourself, and the only thing you can do is try. So yeah, I was 13 when I first came out here, and I snuck there, and I think my dad found out because I was taking way too long to get home, but I just swore up and down I was in Long Island. But it was a sick day. I kickflipped the Banks 9 at like 13, and it was fucking sick. They were so big.
It's probably crazy memories, because I'm sure we've all experienced like coming skating like downtown New York for the first time.
Dude,
when you're really
mesmerizing.
You're really, really young.
It is mind blowing.
And you're mad naive, and like you just don't know anything about life, and
nothing.
you're just seeing all this shit, and you're
Nothing.
like, yo, this is a whole fucking world, dude. This is bugged out.
It is wild.
I relate to the lying part. I feel like your New York City experience, like skate experience as a kid, like to get to the city, like I feel like every kid has lied. Like,
Yeah,
I lied.
I mean, yeah, it's because you don't want to make your parents nervous. You're like, yeah, I got this, and you more than likely do. As long as you're with like some friends who are decently educated on where you're going, then you should probably do okay in Manhattan. But if you've never been there and you're kind of young, you probably should try and get a chaperone somehow.
The Banks was the only spot that I knew too. And
Yeah.
I went to the Banks, and I met some kids there, and they were like, yo, you want to come to LES? I had no idea what that was. And I was like, what is that? They were like, it's a skate park. It's mad close. And I was like, there's a fucking skate park, dude? Like mad close?
Yeah.
And they were like, yeah, come with us. We went over, and it was like the old park with the dirty ass ground and shit.
And then
But
there's
I was like, this
seaport
is the
ledges
sickest
down
shit,
the
dude.
block on the
Yeah.
water.
Yeah.
So dude, New York is beautiful. I literally cannot get enough of it. Every time I'm here, I'm happy. It's just the coolest place ever. I've traveled the world, and I always want to be here. Honestly, hot or cold, I'm just super. It's home, and I love it, and I love the people that are here, and everyone who live. Most of the homies who live are here are just like super cool people and super fun, and get along with them well, and it's sick. It's a great place.
I want to talk about, while we're on the topic of the city, I want to talk about your 2012 part with TJ and Matt Schleier.
Yeah.
That's how you say it?
Yeah, Matt Schleier, yeah.
Yeah. Me not growing up, but I feel like we're around the same age, obviously. But
Yeah.
Me and the homies used to watch that part a lot.
Yeah.
So I wanted to know, like, how was that like?
Dude, it was
Like,
sick. So how that honestly came about, like I said, I always loved any skateboarders that were, you know, pushing it and trying their best. And I had met Tyshawn at an Element Make It Count. The one in
City or-
Harlem
okay,
with the little, they literally didn't even have a skate park that year, and they just had like Element like set up ramps and some ledges and kickers. It was pretty not the best setup, but I met him there, and I realized how good he was instantly. I mean, I want to say I was probably one of the first 10 to 20 people who've seen knew that he was going to be one of the best skateboarders in the world. I knew it. Like, I had no doubt in my mind that he was going to be who he is now. And honestly, he's probably more than surpassed what I've ever thought he would become. And it's super amazing to see. And it's still the reason why I've progressed. And I know that I more than likely would not be who I am without him existing and pushing the limits of skateboarding. And yeah, it was as soon as I like witnessed some of his skating in person, I instantly like Facebook was like, yo, let's go skate. I want to skate with you. And he was like, I'm down. I was like, I got a filmer. And we met at Brick 9 and I hard flipped it.
Iconic.
And what did he skate it? I don't know. I don't remember, but that was the first day we met. And it was like from that point on, it was like sleepovers, go to the Bronx, stay at his house. He taught me like how to get free transportation and
Like
go to the bus stop. And he's like, dude, you're like 13. You just tell him you don't have money and you need a ride. I'm like,
Facts.
all right. I'm like, yo, I don't have money. I need a ride. And they're like, I'm like, all right. And then I just literally like took that into consideration as a kid. Then just like would do that. I'm like, oh, well, there's a bus right by my mom's house. Like I could take this to the Far Rockaway skate park and I could just be like, I don't have money and get a ride. And I start doing that. And then it's just like, you know, we just have sleepovers, and then I'd hit up Schleier, and he was old enough to drive, and we'd just be like, yeah, we want to go here this weekend. And it's like, all right. And it's like, yeah, we want to go here this weekend. And he's like, all right. It's like, oh, we want to go to Connecticut this weekend. Fun fact, like, go to this blue, like, 9-stair rail in Connecticut or something. It's like a legendary rail, and we're skating it, and I kickflip backlip it, and I was, like, hyped. I, like, did it good. I'm like, fuck yeah, like, killed it, like stoked. And like Tyshawn wasn't feeling it at the moment, and I was like weirded out by it. I was like crazy. I was like, whatever, and then I think we're done skating, and I was like, we go to Wendy's and get some food, and we're getting Wendy's, and he's like, I want to go back. We're like, we were just there for an hour and you didn't want to do one trick. Like, you're not gonna do anything right now. Like, you're lying. Like, what's gonna change your mind right now? He's like, I want to go back. We're like, all right. Just got off, goes back, and just, I forget what he did. I mean, it's a long time now. If you watch the part, you'll find it. I'm sure he did something great. He always did. And it was just, he's cool. He's a very unique individual. He's just always done the unexpected. It's like, I think that's like pretty sick and unique about him. I mean, I feel like I'll do the unexpected if you don't watch me learn it at the skate park, and then I'll do it at a spot, but like for the most part, it's pretty easy to take some hints if you like watch my Instagram and like go through it and like find some old stuff of me at skate parks. It's like at some point that trick at the skate park, I've just bring it to a bigger obstacle at a skate spot. And I could be kind of obvious, but also it's like, it's a cool spot and probably a decent trick. So it's like, it's still cool. But yeah, he's just like, he's unique, and you never know what he's going to do next. And I really like that about his skateboarding. And he's always been like that as a little kid. Like, he'll go from back over cricking a rail really nicely to switch flipping a garbage can. You're like, those are two totally different universes of skateboarding, but you got to like that fire, like that's so sick. Like, or he'll just go skate the biggest bump to bar in the Bronx, backside flip it, and then hard flip it. And it's just like, wow, that's like some transition skills on top of some crazy pop and drop. But it's like, oh, you put your mind to it and you thought it'd be cool and you did it. Like, wow, that's amazing. And that's like why I love skating so much, is because you could find things and do things that you didn't ever think are possible. And like, I think that's like the sickest thing. And that's why I want to be healthy. And that's why I want to, I have that discipline to just try a little bit more exercise besides just skateboarding, so I have the strength and stamina to create those opportunities that are out there. It's like, the world has more than enough resources if you're a healthy individual to go out and get it. It's like, are you gonna go out and get it? What are you gonna do? So that's like what I enjoy about him, and that's was an amazing thing growing up with him, is like he's a go-getter. He's gonna try, and he's more than likely going to succeed because he has the wants and needs to get there. So it's inspiring, and yeah, I look up to him as a skateboarder and a human, and he's really, really unique.
Shout out TJ.
Yeah, shout out to TJ.
Do you still talk to or film with Matt Schleier?
Yeah, dude, Matt Schleier. I was with him today at the Banks. He's like filmed 90% of my Dickie's part, and The Adidas part is like majority of his filming. He's spent countless hours with me at Flushing Meadows filming back nose blunt pop out. And
How many tries was that shit?
the day I landed it was 185.
Back nose blunt?
The day I landed it to regular. I had done to fakie 6 months prior. Probably.
You want that?
I did. I just wanted it to regular, and I knew that I was just gonna like run the one to fakie in my X Games part, and then I had the one on deck to regular, which is one thing I kind of regret about my X Games thing. I held back on some really good clips to save for my Adidas part, and I ended up getting third, and I was like, I should have went hard on y'all. I should have dropped it all. I was like really bummed. I was like, dude, I thought the bag was secured. I'm more than grateful to get a medal though. I'm not trying to say I'm ungrateful. There's a difference between like having gratitude towards what you have, but like understanding that it's like, I forget, there's this Peasy lyrics, but I love them. I wish I knew exactly what it was. It's like, it's just, he was saying he's grateful, but he wants more. And I'm like, all right, yeah, it's like, there's nothing wrong with that. You could be grateful, but kind of still were aiming for something better. So, I mean, it just kind of hurt knowing that I had something better, but I don't mind as much now because, you know, I had a lot of good feedback from my Adidas part, and it probably wouldn't be as great if I didn't save those certain things for it. I mean, I did get #1 quarter snacks for the one to regular in the Adidas part. So, I mean, that's definitely a huge thing nowadays. It's like something to be proud of, is getting that. So
I rank the quarter snack shit higher than the X Games, honestly.
Yeah.
Get #1 on quarter snacks.
Yeah.
Way sick.
Yeah, no, it is really sick. Yeah. So I mean, I got a medal still though, and Schleier got a medal. No, it's cool. It's cool. It's all good. It was a cool experience. It's nice to have that like content on YouTube for life. I mean, that's the cool thing. And the nicest thing about it, actually, I just right as I was walking in here, I sent an invoice to Adidas. Did get an extra little bag for the clips that were in X Games because Thrasher had been making that little new This Old Ledge thing in New York, and I had been a part of 3 of them. So even if it's like, you know, less than 15 seconds but they reuse my footage, I still got a little something. So I was like, hey, like, it's like, you know, it's like I got even, you know, a little bonus years later for it. I'm like, that's not too bad. I was worth it. Like, I was never think that I would end up getting some, you know, that's like the amazing thing. You realize like, that's the whole point of like striving for your best, because like, dude, at the end of the day, like as time goes by, like you get these little like things later on in life that you're just like, holy shit, like, wow, that really mattered. And now I'm really proud of that. And now like, I want to continue to strive for that kind of greatness, is because there's so much that came along with it, like so much extra little tokens of appreciation throughout life that happen from just working hard. And it's like, it's amazing. It's like, well, why not? Like you're inspiring people and you're doing better for yourself. So what's wrong with that? Trying hard, nothing. Like the only thing you could regret is not trying. I mean, there's nothing else. I mean,
you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
For sure, dude. It's real, man. You just gauge your feelings and understand like what you're going into. And you know, there's always a risk reward ratio. If you think it's too risky, then let it go. But if you think that like there's less risk but a bigger reward to just trying something, then go ahead and try it and go for it. Like, what's stopping you? I mean, especially if you have the opportunity to do something, and do it. It's important. I mean, I was thinking about it today. I think like most of the tricks that like I think have made a major impact on people and myself have always been like, I've always like kind of woke up that morning kind of just like having a little bit of doubt, or like thinking that like, oh, I maybe don't really want to do this today, but you know, just kind of go head on and just not being so like, be a little bit less fearful towards it. You kind of got to believe in yourself, even though when you don't really fully do. I do feel that way sometimes, you know, sure. Even have done so much. It's just like, it's natural to feel like you're not completely in control all the time when you probably are. And I think most people's fears are just like more so like not even real things. It's like a lot of people say it as they got older. It's like most of the things they ever feared happening in their life never happened. Like gotta just kind of let go a little bit.
What is the fears that come with being a pro skater and doing that shit for a living and having it be like dependent on, well, actually some people it's not even dependent on their body, like once you reach a certain level, but like for the majority of the pro skaters, like you're dependent on your body, but you also kind of have to represent by fucking doing shit that puts your body at risk.
Yeah, for sure. So that's why, as I get older, I mean, I definitely probably would be a little bit more reckless towards like teenager years. And now as I got older and got a little bit bigger and a little bit, I do kind of pick and choose things that I could kind of, I want now as I get older, like as you asked that, like with my body and kind of like being thoughtful towards myself is kind of just choosing things that I know I could try for an hour or two and more than likely can do it. Like I definitely love kink rails. I love big things. I like stair sets, but now I'm like, I want to know that like I could try something for an hour or 2 hours and I'm going to be able to like enjoy the rest of my day still. So, I mean, I take that into a huge consideration now. I don't, I understand that like, yes, everything I do is important to me and I want to do my best and try my best, but also like understand I have a full life ahead of me and that like sometimes one trick doesn't always matter. So as much as I'm trying to tell people that they should go for most things that like they are kind of going for, it's like you think about like what could happen towards whatever you're trying to achieve and how much impact is it going to have on yourself and others, and are people going to really remember it, or is it just going to be like something that kind of people just like it flies by in my video or something? So it's just like if it's something that's like going to put me at a higher risk and it's kind of something that could kind of just fly by in a video or someone else, that's like another thing. Like that's kind of why I shy away from gnarlier things now, is because what I do know is that some kid who's really hungry is going to be more than likely down to do that. So now as I get older, I want to be smarter and more strategic, and I want to try hard tricks that are really cool at cool spots, but also like stuff I can kind of just try for a while. Like I like out ledges. I feel like I'm really good at skating out ledges, and any rail or stairs between like 12 and lower, I have high confidence in. So anything in that realm, I'm more than likely down to skate, and I take into consideration how much, how much is going to really affect my body and how I'm going to feel, and how impactful is it really going to be, because there's things out there I've realized as I skate more and travel more that there's so many cool spots out there that you can stumble upon the coolest skate spot ever and do a trick in 3 tries and it be like the most amazing thing that anyone's ever seen you do, rather than me like try and front feeble a 6 kink rail.
Also now with Instagram, like people are becoming more desensitized to fucking really good skating.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You see it 24/7. Clips are like just fucking everywhere. So everybody is good now. Like everybody's better than they were like 10 years ago. Like the common skateboarder is just nice.
Yeah. So that's what I'm kind of looking for more. Like now as I get older, I'm definitely into switch skating. I like skating hubba switch. I like to do technical tricks. Like I got like a switch tray lip slide on the rail. Like that's something that people don't really do, and I've found to like caters to my human body of like being able to do that kind of easy. So I'm just, it's all about search what you're good at. Like be good at what you're good at and try and get better at things at your weaknesses, because you want to turn your weaknesses into strengths to the best of your ability, but also understand there's going to be those certain weaknesses you kind of got to let go and just do focus on your strengths, because if you do focus on your strengths, then they only get better and you can kind of just bring it to a better skate spot. And if you're good at backsmiths and you could backsmith this, then like, okay, like now you did this really decent size backsmith on this certain rail, like now you're better at it. You got some XP under you. Now you can bring it somewhere else and do it on something better. And then it's like, oh, that was even sicker than the last one because, you got better at it at that other spot. It's like, I think that's kind of what I'm, as I get older and have like that on the back of my mind of being able to keep skating is like sticking to strengths, because if you do a trick proper, I think that's kind of why I like Tyshawn skating a lot, because like if you do something proper and have a lot of pop and you do it well, then it's kind of like a good workout, because like you're using the mechanics of your body correctly. Like I don't want to splat on the ground and have my knees inverted. Like I want to land the correct way and squat to the best of my ability, and not like I just like I really look up to Nipsey Hussle, so I just like everything really is a marathon in my mind. It's like how long are you, like I think that's like the most G thing, is doing something well for as long as possible.